Hey gamers, this is Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, and I'm here to teach you how to solo Hoplomachus, The Lost Cities. Hoplomachus is a gladiator fighting game from Chip Theory Games, and it's played on this awesome neoprene battle mat. So we're going to be setting out gladiatorial units and having them fight each other. In a single player version of this game, you can control your gladiators versus bosses and criminals and beasts that are controlled by an AI system that I'm going to teach you. There are 3 lost cities that have come to present gladiators and fight in the arena in Hoplomachus, The Lost Cities. Those are Xanadu, Atlantis, and El Dorado. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull a chip. I've put one chip from each of these cities in this bag. I'm going to pull one to randomly decide who we're going to be. So we're going to be playing Atlantis this round. Each city comes with one of these fun little description cards. So we have Atlantis. After losing their legendary city, this civilization thrived on the open waters and remained a secret while they advanced and progressed into an empire once again. Living on the oceans, its warriors are sure-footed on any terrain and use their nets, ropes, and spears with deadly accuracy. By entangling and entrapping their opponents, they continually keep them off-balanced and focused. Atlantis controls its battles with precise planning, patience, and impressive positional control. None should underestimate the Atlanteans. And then on the back, it'll give you a little bit of a description of the champion of Atlantis. So we have Ferris of Atlantis as the champion. There are alternate champions you can pick up in the expansions, but the original one is Ferris. And your city gladiator is the Atlantis Retiarius. And Retiarius is actually my very favorite type of ancient gladiator. They had a net and a trident and had to use their wiles to entrap more heavily armed gladiators. So this is also telling us our special abilities for the city, and our city's special ability is pull. So basically we are able to pull enemy units closer to us. Maybe we've caught them in our fishing nets. So here I've pulled the main sets of chips we're going to be using for this game. All the blue ones are going to be the Atlantis chips. So before we actually draw gladiators to put out on the field, here's our champion. So as you can see, he is double-sided. He has one black and white side and one color side. So he's going to start the game deactivated on this black and white side, and I'll show you how that works. You're going to have 10 gladiators and 4 tactics. So these are the chips we're going to have to work with as we go into our game, and I'll show you how to set up. These black chips are the bad guys. So basically, there are 6 total bosses that come with the Lost Cities for us to fight. In a solo game, the goal of the game is to have your champion survive 3 rounds against 3 of these bosses that we would draw randomly. There are also some little minions. So you have arena criminals who have one way of moving and attacking, and then you have arena beasts who have another. So to set up, we're going to shuffle our tactics and pick one random one. Alright, so the tactic that we've picked up is called Bolster Health. And it's basically going to allow us to add a health to a friendly non-champion unit. So if our little helper gladiators are having some trouble, we have a tactic to help them out. We're going to put this over here. And then we're going to draw some gladiators. Let's find out what we get. Alright, so we shuffled all of our chips up, and we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And those are going to be our helpful gladiators for the round. And these guys will be out for this particular round. So let's take a closer look at our champion before we place him to give you an idea of chip anatomy in this game. Let's move him to the colored side to make him a little easier to see. So Ferris has 10 health. He's going to have 1 attack range, which means he can attack enemies within 1 hex of him. He has a movement range of 1, so he cannot run very far on a given turn. And he has a tactical range of 2, which means if I'm using a tactic with him, I can do it on hexes that are within 2 of me. His abilities are also listed here. So he has a normal attack that is just these 3 dice, so 2 black dice and a yellow. And you're going to see basically what's interesting about the dice is that different colors have different odds of scoring a hit, which we're going to see in play. He also has an ability that's called Extreme Pull. To look up abilities, the best place to go is the back page of the main rulebook for this game. So if you go to Extreme Pull, you'll see a unit can be pulled a straight line inward toward the champion, up to 2 hexes inward and from up to 3 hexes away. Cannot pull through other units, usable during move phase only. So basically, extreme pull is described on the reference page on the back of the rulebook, as are all of the special abilities and alternate abilities on the chips. So if you're ever confused about what to do, this is where you go. So now I'm going to place Ferris. Any of these hexes, since I've decided this is my side of the board, are champion start location hexes. So I kind of want to put him in the back. So I'm going to take Ferris, I'm going to put him on his inactive side. He'll turn active either when we get enough crowd favor or when he gets hit by an enemy. And then I'm going to take 10 of these red health chips and put him on top of them. He looks really healthy and tall right now, but you can die pretty quickly in this game. So we will have Ferris over here ready to go. Here is his little staff of helpful gladiators, and now we need to choose a boss. So these are the boss tokens. Let's just shuffle them up and see what we get. All right, so time to pick someone. Let's do... All right, so we will be fighting Molhegen, the dragon lizard. He has a total of 9 health, so we'll set him up on the boss spot over here with 9 health chips and put all these other guys away to be possibly drawn the next round. So now that our boss and champion are set up, our gladiators are drawn, we also need to set up some enemy units. So what that means is we're going to shuffle these guys all together, the beasts and the criminals, and then we'll put 2 random chips on trapdoors 1 and 2. In the first round of solo play, you only put out 2. So 1 random arena unit goes here and 1 goes here. In round 2, you'll put 3 random units out. So on 2, 3, and 4. And in the third round, you put them on all of them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. These numbers also play a role when you spawn new units, which happens every time you defeat one. And I will be showing you how that works in combat. All right, so we got a couple of enemies set out. The rest are going to go to the side because we'll draw more as the game goes on. So let's see what we got. All right, so we got an arena criminal and an arena beast. They're each going to be set up with 4 health chips. They move in different ways, and they have different innate abilities, which we'll see in action. All right, so these guys are all set up. We're totally free to flip our gladiators. If we were playing against another player, these would basically be like our secret hand and no one would get to look. But since it's just us, I'll let you in on my secrets. So we got an Atlantean attacker, an archer, another attacker, a Retiarius, my favorite, a defender, and a tactician. So we got the full range of Atlantean chips to show you guys so we can try out a few different ones over these couple rounds that we'll play. There's one last thing we need to set up, and that's crowd favor. See these white chips here? These are rewards that we're going to be able to randomly draw as we go. So I'm going to set my crowd favor up here on 0, but as we progress by killing enemies and by having control of these contested spaces in the middle of the arena, we're going to be able to increase our crowd favor. And that means that we'll be able to draw 3 random tactics and 1 random extra helpful gladiator, depending on how far up the tracker we get. So let's put some tactics here. We don't know what they are until we get there, but it's always a nice surprise. These will go back in the box for now. And then we'll get 1 of these 3 extra gladiators if we make it all the way up to the top of the crowd favor track. So let's just put this one here. Hopefully we'll get there at some point because crowd favor gladiators are always fun. So now we are all set up and ready to go. I'm going to show you how a couple of sample turns work so that then you can hopefully go and have your own awesome gladiator battles from the comfort of your own home. So why don't I walk you through a couple of turns in excruciating detail so that you feel comfortable doing it on your own. So the first thing that you do on any turn is you tally crowd favor. So no one's earned any crowd favor this round, but for future rounds there are a few things to consider. First, any arena opponent, any of these minions that I kill will earn me 2 crowd favor. If I kill a boss, that's 4. And then if I am standing on these sort of contested spaces at the beginning of a round, if I can control 1, I get 1 crowd favor point. If I'm controlling both at the beginning of the round, then I get 3. So there are strategic reasons, even though enemies tend to spawn in here on these trap doors, for me to want to be up here and trying to control some of these spaces because it gives me the crowd favor that I need to get extra tactics and eventually an extra gladiator. But for now, we've checked for crowd favor tally. No one has any because we've just started. Next is the deployment phase. So I have an option to deploy either 1 or 2 chips, 1 gladiator and up to 1 tactic. I don't need this added health tactic yet because no one has lost any health and it's like a one-use thing. Some tactics are permanent adjustments to how a unit plays, but the health one is just a little health boost and we don't need it right now. So I'm gonna pick a gladiator to deploy. I want to set my champion up for success. So I'm going to start by putting out my Atlantean defender. So see these little invitingly blood-stained spots on the map? These are places where you can deploy units. So I'm going to go ahead and put my defender right here. He currently has basically summoning sickness. He can't attack or move this turn. There are some special abilities that override that, but he does not have one. So when he gets a little closer to my champion, he's going to be able to intercept a blow. So that means if somebody tries to hit him, my defender can take the hit instead. He can also choose to reposition himself as an alternate attack. He can also just attack with 1 black die, which isn't too bad. So we'll see what we need him for as we go. But I have put out 1 of my units. So as you can see, it takes time to get multiple gladiators out, and that's okay because I have to survive on these guys all the way to the end of the round anyway. It doesn't hurt to have to take my time. Phase 3 is movement, but neither of these guys can move. As I just mentioned, this defender cannot move until next turn because he's just come out, he's just been deployed, he just needs a second to get his bearings. And then the champion here is currently deactivated, and he isn't going to do anything until we either get enough crowd favor to get the crowd excited and kind of wake him up, or until somebody hits him. Hopefully that won't happen just because I want to kind of keep my health chips. After all, in this game, he has to survive 3 rounds without any health replenishment. So, you know, he's got a long way to go. So nobody's moving. Phase 4 is attack. No one is attacking because, again, he can't do anything yet and these guys aren't in range. So that was the first turn. The first turn's always pretty slow. That means it's the enemy turn and our enemies are going to start moving now. So let's just go ahead and start with the Arena Beast. I get to choose what order they activate in, but the Beast has sort of an interesting way of moving and they're closer, so we're just going to do that first. And then we are going to show you how a criminal moves. So the Arena Beast moves based on 2 die rolls. So let's roll 2 dice and I'll explain how it works. So take 1 white and 1 red. All right, so we got a 4 and a 6. So we're actually going to move for the white die first and for the red die second. There's a handy little chart right here that has these die numbers. So we know that for a 6, he's going to move 1 this way. And then for a 4, he's going to move this way. So basically this beast has danced a little bit closer to us. Sometimes because they're animals, like they can move away from you as well. Beasts don't tend to move in like a very set pattern. However, once you are adjacent to one, you are locked in combat with them until the combat is resolved one way or another. So you can avoid beasts for a while, but once you're in a fight with them, it's a fight to the death. A criminal moves a little bit differently. See how he is champion bound? That means that his whole goal is to go for my champion in here. So I'll show you how he moves next. So for a criminal, we're going to roll 1 die. If I roll a 1, he doesn't move at all. If I roll a 2 to a 5, he moves 1 hex. And if I roll a 6, he's going to move 2 hexes towards my champion. So sadly, that was a 6. So he's going to move 2 hexes towards my champion. He can't move direct through the beast, but he can move like this. So he's going to come down this way. And so these guys are like racing down the arena to try to get to the champion. And now we're going to save Big Bad for last. We're going to move Molhegen, the dragon lizard. So since Molhegen is a beast, so bosses in this game can either be beasts or criminals. Molhegen is a beast. I mean, he's a dragon lizard. I don't know how those commit crimes. They just lay waste to things. So we're going to roll 2 dice for him, just like we did for the arena beast. So we'll resolve the white one first and the red one second. So he, for this one, would move backwards. He can't, so he just doesn't move. If the movement is impossible, it just doesn't happen. And then he'll move forward 1 for the 5. So Molhegen has moved forward 1. And you think, oh, the boss is a beast. He might just like wander around and you can do all kinds of stuff before he shows up. Not so, because he's a boss, and that means that we always have to roll an attack roll, even if he's not anywhere in range of us, because he can still activate his special ability. And he has a pretty nasty one. So I need to roll a d6 for an attack every single turn. If I roll a 1 to a 5, it's just a base attack and nothing happens. But if I roll a 6, he has a special ability that's called a swing rush, and it's pretty devastating. According to the handy dandy rulebook, a swing rush tells you that the enemy moves adjacent to the farthest opposing unit and instantly does 3 damage. The player chooses the hex. Okay, so this is rough because even if he's all the way across the board from me, if he rolls a 6 on his attack roll, he will fly all the way across the arena, become adjacent to one of my guys, hit him for 3, and be involved in a fight to the death. That is extremely brutal, and I really hope he doesn't roll one of those right away, because that would be horrible. But it will probably eventually happen, and then we will all be in the thick of it together against Molhegen, the dragon lizard. So let's see what he rolls. All right, he rolled a 2. Whew, nothing happens. No swing rush for us. So now it's going to be our turn again, and we can figure out what we want to do about these enemies. So now it is back to us. The first thing you should always do is check for crowd favor, but nobody's earned any yet. None of my units are on these spaces, and I haven't killed anyone yet, so my crowd favor is still a fat 0. So now, the next step is deployment, and I need to figure out who it is that I would like to deploy. So I'm going to pick another gladiator. I think that I want to put out an Atlantean attacker. They have pretty good health and good movement range, and they roll a lot of dice to attack, so I'm hoping that I can do some damage. I should also, by the way, put some health chips into these guys. All right, so I've put my Atlantean attacker here on the nice bloody little deployment spot. My defender is still here. And so my deployment phase has ended. Now I can move. So for me, I'm definitely gonna wanna just put my defender here. He only has 1 range of movement anyway. I'm gonna put him adjacent to my champion so he can intercept a hit for him. So that is pretty much all I can do right now, which kind of stinks. I'd really like to have more attack power, but we're doing what we can here. So what I'm betting is that the arena criminal, he's champion bound. So I put my attacker over here instead of here, because I think that if I get an arena criminal movement, right, he's gonna come this way and move in front of my champion, which puts him in range for attack from my attacker the next round when I can move. So depending on how he gets to move, it's gonna really impact, you know, the spacing on the board. So once again, that's my turn over. Check for crowd favor, deploy, move, and attack. So we've done everything that we can do for right now. So now it's the enemy turn again. So let's go ahead and move our little beastie and see how he does. Okay, so this time he got a 2 and a 1. So we'll resolve the white one first. He moves here, straight back. And now we have to resolve the red one. So from where he is, he's gonna move right here. And that is how he moved. So one thing that's kind of interesting about this is it seems random, right? Like you wanna get in a fight right away, but it adds a little bit of unpredictability to the game. And I like it because I'm an ancient history enthusiast, and one of the things that was the most frustrating about beast fights in ancient times when they had these gladiator fights is that animals can be angry and scared, but you can't always make them fight the way that you want them to fight. So even like a big cat, like a lion or a tiger, might actually run and try to like get into the corner of the arena away from the gladiators rather than run into the fight. And if you were the beast trainer for that fight, you could actually get in trouble up to the point of losing your life for not training the animals to fight the way that the game's giver wanted them to, which is kind of fun, except not. All right, so now as the arena criminals go, let's see how he rolls. Okay, so this time he rolled a 1, and that means that he doesn't move at all. The champion's right there, dude, you're not gonna go anywhere. No, the arena criminal who is champion bound is just gonna kind of hang out for a turn, which isn't too bad for us because it gives us more time to get some gladiators out and ready to rock. Okay, so now we're gonna move Molhegen the dragon lizard. So let's roll his dice and see how he does. Okay, so we got a 1 and a 1. So what that means is that he's gonna move here 1, and then another 1 would move him in the same direction, so he just doesn't move. He's just hanging out along the back here. But again, that could all change depending on what happens with his attack roll. So let's hope that nothing too horrible occurs. Whew, a 5. All right, so he could have gone flying across to get us, but he did not. I think it's inevitable, so we'll see how it goes. So this 5 means that he doesn't come and attack us with his crazy swing rush yet. Okay, so that was the enemy turn. By the way, you might be asking, why aren't we deploying more enemies? The reason that you don't is that I have to kill one of these before another one comes out. And hopefully we will get far enough to show you how that works. So now it's back to me. No one's earned any crowd favor, so we're just still hanging out on the whole crowd favor thing. Now I get to deploy another gladiator, which I'm absolutely going to do. So I think next I want to put out my Atlantean archer. He doesn't have a lot of health, but he does have some ranged attacks that might be sort of helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and put him, let's say right here. The arena criminal is not going to move in his direction, so that's not really a big deal. I want to leave my defender where he is because his best spot is next to my champion. I want to move, so I've deployed, so now we're on movement. So not to skip steps for y'all. We'll move these guys up here. So I want to put my attacker, I want to put him here. The reason I want to do that is because, I mean, he has 2 movement that I want to use, but also it affects this champion bound movement. This arena criminal won't be able to quite get at my champion because he's going to get stopped with my guys. So hopefully we can kind of like trap him if he comes this way and start making trouble. And that is pretty much what we can do. Actually, wait, hang on. So one thing that is special about the archers is they do have an ability called First Strike, which means they can attack on the same turn that they're deployed. However, his attack range is only 2, and I'm just not quite close enough to this guy to hit him. But that's all right. All right, so now it's the bad guy turn. Let's see how the arena beast will move. Okay, so this time he got a 4 and a 5. A 4 is this way, and then a 5 is straightforward. So we are about to have a fight. So this beast is now close to my Atlantean attacker. Now that we are locked in with each other, basically this is going to be a fight to the death. There is absolutely no way that he's getting out of it, and this beast is going to be locked into combat with him until it is over. So since the beast moved into my range first, he's going to attack me. So he has 3 dice to attack with. 1 black die, 1 blue die, and then 1 yellow die. So the differences between these dice, it comes from the number of hits on the side. So the black die almost always hits because it only has 1 blank side. A blue die, it's got like a 50-50 shot. There's a hit on 3 of the sides. And then this one is like a third of a chance of hitting because there's only hit markers on 2 sides of the die. So yellow dice are less likely to hit, but every die counts. So let's see how the arena beast does against my Atlantean attacker. Okay, so he just hit him for 2, which sucks because he only has 3 health. However, my Atlantean attacker has a special ability called Retaliate. What this means is that without having to roll any dice at all, he automatically does 1 damage to the beast. So he hits back, and even on the turn where he dies, he will hit back. So at least we have that. So that beast did us some damage. And let's see what this arena criminal is going to do, because he's going to be trying to get over here. He rolled another 1? God, this is the lamest criminal in the world. Okay, but I'll take it because right now we are busy with this beast. So again, it's Molhegen's turn. Let's see what the dragon lizard's up to. Okay, so for a 1, he can't move further back off the board. For a 3, he can move here. So he's still hanging out towards the back, but again, this could end any time. So let's roll a d6 and see what happens with that. That was a 4. So again, he's not going to swing rush us this time, but it can happen any turn, so we got to be ready. And now it's back to me. So the first thing that I want to do probably is deploy a gladiator because it seems smart to have a lot of gladiators out. All right, so the first part of the turn is check for crowd favor. No one's earned any, so now I get to deploy. Who do I want to deploy? Ooh, okay, let's just put everybody out there. Let's try the Retiarius this time. He's got 3 health, and we're just gonna stick him right here. He has an ability called Pull, which is pretty cool. So he can't move yet or do much, but these guys can all do things. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack with, wait, do I wanna move first? All right, so now it's movement time. I have to move everybody all on the same turn. So, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the archer up for sure to put them in a range where they can shoot people, such as this arena criminal. And then I am gonna take a risk. I'm gonna move my defender up because I think that he can do damage to these guys, and there's no way that this criminal is gonna be able to get around and get at my champion this turn, so I may as well use him a little bit. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's start with an attack from the Atlantean attacker and see if he can use his 3 dice to knock out this arena beast. So just like the beast, I get 1 black die, 1 yellow, and 1 blue. Let's see how we do. Yes! So 3 hits. This arena beast is out. And it's gonna put me up to 2 crowd favor. So that's awesome. The arena beast will be replaced with a new deployment at the beginning of the arena turn, and I'll show you how a new deployment would work. Now we have this arena criminal to deal with. So the Atlantean archer is gonna go ahead and try to shoot him with 1 black and 1 yellow die. So we hit him for 1, which is better than none. And now we have our Atlantean defender who can just attack for a basic attack with 1 black die. So I'm hoping that this will just kind of like knock another health off this dude. So again, he gets hit, and so now the arena criminal is down to 2 health, which is not too bad. So that is where we're at. So we've got 2 crowd favor for next round, which is a start. If we can get 3 more, we'll get a new tactic, and we can activate our champion whether or not he's been hit, which is pretty cool. Okay, so now it is the arena's turn. What we're gonna do first is that we're gonna roll a d6. So we rolled a 6. What that means is, see this 6 here? There is gonna be another unit that comes through this trapdoor. So we're gonna draw an arena criminal. So he is champion bound, just like the other one. And he is gonna just hang out here and deal with his summoning sickness for now. So he's appeared. This guy's gonna move. So let's see how he does. So again, he rolls a 1. He's not gonna move, but he is gonna attack this time because he's adjacent to someone. So we are going to roll 3 dice for him and see how badly he hits my defender. So he hit my defender for 2. Not great, but no guts, no glory. And that was his move. And now we're gonna roll 2 dice for Molhegen, the dragon lizard. So he's gonna go 1, but he can't. And then 6, which would be this way. And then we'll roll an attack die to see what he does. All right, so that was a 3. He does not move yet. And that was the enemy turn. So now it's back to us. We have 2 crowd favor, still not enough to get an award, but hey, you know, we're getting there. Then we get to deploy someone. So let's put out another attacker, and let's give him his 3 life and stick him like right here. So he can kind of move up. Maybe we can start going for some of these spaces to try to get a little favor or something like that. So he is not able to do anything for right now. Now it's movement time. So let's see who I would like to move. My Retiarius has a movement of 2, and he has a special ability called Pull. Let's see if we can do anything fun with that. All right, so let's try this. I have an innate movement ability called Pull on this Retiarius. So I think what I want to do is, why don't I move him 1, 2, and then I'm going to use my Pull ability to move this criminal toward me. 3, which is kind of cool. Let's go for it. Okay, and then I'm going to be able to attack him on the next round. Do I want to move anyone else? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to move this archer up 2 so I can attack this arena criminal up here. And let's see. I just put out this attacker. He can't go anywhere. And I'm allowed to engage and disengage. I'm just going to attack this criminal, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to use all of our dudes to attack the arena criminal and then try to get the archer to shoot at this other criminal, and that's our turn. Okay, so everyone's moved that can move. And now let's do all of our attacking. So let's go ahead and just attack the arena criminal with our Retiarius. Let's give him a little time in the sun here. Okay, so he hits him for 1. Nice. And then we are going to go for him with our attacker, who also would have hit him too. So he is dead. He goes out of the game. And then we get 2 crowd favor. Now let's see if our archer is able to take a shot at this guy. So he has an attack range of 2. So we're gonna roll 2 dice and see if we can just knock a little bit off of him. So we hit him for 1. So he is down to 3 health. And then let's do 1 more arena turn and then we'll call it a day so that you guys can go and try this awesome game out for yourself. So once again, we check for crowd favor. We're almost at our next reward, almost, and we're just not quite there, but hopefully soon. Wait, sorry, we don't do that yet. Now it's their turn. So they're gonna deploy somebody new. So let's go ahead and see who they deploy. All right, so let's roll to see where they'll go next. Okay, so our next dude is gonna show up on the 5. He's gonna come out of this trapdoor. So let's draw a new person, a beast in fact. So we have another arena beast. So he will start up with 4 health and be right here. He can attack. Newly deployed enemy units can attack if you're adjacent to them, but they can't move. So he's not gonna move, he's just gonna kind of be where he is. So now let's move the arena criminal and see where he goes. So he only, what is with these arena criminals not moving today? So he's got a 1, so he's just gonna hang out and do nothing. And then Molhegen, the dragon lizard, is gonna move. All right, so a 2 is backwards, but a 5 is straightforward, so he's gonna move up. And then let's see if he attacks us. Uh-oh. Okay, so he has done his swing rush, and this is actually pretty rough because he attacks the furthest unit for 3. So there's actually a toss-up as to who the furthest from him is, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is my champion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is this Atlantean attacker. Oh, this is brutal. Okay, so I think we're gonna go for the attacker just because I want to keep my champion's health for future rounds. So Molhegen is gonna go and just come over here. Ooh, and I can choose where to put him on any of these adjacent hexes. So anyone that I put him next to can't move. So I need to think about that. Okay. Even though I could deploy here, I'm gonna put him right here. That's what I'm gonna do, so that I have more movement options the next turn. Since technically the role for Swing Rush is moves adjacent to the farthest opposing unit and the player chooses the hex. So I'm gonna choose this hex. So this is not great because he does an automatic 3 damage, which means he just killed my attacker for no reason. How rude, Dragon Lizard, how could you? But he's gonna move normally next turn so I can figure out what I wanna do about him. So with that said, let's do 1 more turn so we can like go at Molhegen a little bit, just because it's kind of fun. All right, so check for crowd favor, not at an award yet. I can deploy someone. I would definitely like to deploy someone, especially because I have initiative. Let's see. Where do we want to put this tactician? The thing is still, I don't want to put him over here. Well, he moves 3. All right, let's stick him here. Now I'm on my move. So let's just go ahead and go crazy on this boss. So my attacker can move 2. Let's just go ahead and move him. Let's go. And it'll also lock Molhegen into place through the next turn because he won't move because he'll be attacking. So I can like keep him over here. Let's move. All right, let's just get him down in here for the next turn because I don't want to mess around too much with this. Let's put the archer here since he's within 2 and he can just fire things. And then let's go ahead and stick the defender down in here too, so that everybody can just get into this fight. This is brutal. Okay, so let's have the Atlantean attacker go ahead and attack first. So he's gonna roll 3 dice, 1 black, 1 blue, 1 yellow. Let's see how he does against Molhegen the Dragon Lizard. Only one hit? Dude, that was lame. Okay. So he's taken 1 off Molhegen, however. This defender is going to go at him for 1. So he does get a hit in. And then this Atlantean archer is going to fire at him for up to 2. Let's see if we can get 2. Yes, 2. Okay. So Molhegen is still alive and kicking, but he's down to 5 health. So our odds of getting him are getting higher as we go. However, his attacks are pretty brutal, so we're going to have to, like, get through that. He's got, like, 5 dice on him. It's going to suck. Okay, so it is the enemy turn. Let's handle this guy first. All right, so he's going to move a 5 and then a 3, so he moves up and then, like, back. So he moves here. The arena criminal, he moves 6, so he comes 2 towards the champion, but he's not going to be able to do anything just yet. So they're doing their thing. Now we have Molhegen, and he's in a fight with us to the death, and he has a lot of dice. So the real thing that sucks is that Molhegen is going to hit both of these guys for the full force of his attack. So that's pretty bad, because he's going to hit for 2, 1 blue. Okay, so he has 5 dice, and we need to see how badly he burns us this time around. Pretty bad. 4 hits, so basically both of these guys just got killed. That sucks. So a couple of my gladiators are off the map, but it is our turn again. So let's party. Okay, so I get to move and then I get to attack. So let's go ahead and start moving this tactician of mine. He can move up to 3. I'm gonna move him down here. 1, 2, 3. And the reason that I'm gonna do that is because I'm gonna move my Retiarius in here, and my tactician can increase his attack by 1 yellow die when I do that. So I'm gonna move him down here, and then I'm gonna attack with these guys. So I've moved, now it's time to attack. So now, because the tactician is next to him, I'm gonna use my strategic attack innate ability to allow my Atlantean Retiarius to roll a yellow in addition to his normal black and blue. Okay, so he's taken out Molhegen for 2 hits. And then we are going to go at him with my Atlantean archer for hopefully 2 more, but we'll see. Ah! Nope, oops, sorry. So he only got him for 1. Oh, that sucks. But we are trying here. Okay, so let's see how this goes. Let's move the arena beast first, just kind of see what we're dealing with. Okay, so he moves a 6, which he can't, and then a 3, which is this way, and he's going to come at my archer. So let's see how he does with that. Crap. Well, he just wiped out my archer by, like, swiping him with an evil beast strike. So we are, like, really in the thick of it here. And then my arena criminal, let's see how he moves. So he is coming. So he's moving up to my champion, and he's going to roll his dice to see what he can do to Ferris. If he hits Ferris, that sucks because he'll lose some life, but it's also in some ways good because he will activate. Alright, so he hit Ferris for 1. But it's not the worst thing in the world, because now Ferris is active, and I know that we're going to be able to wipe out this boss this turn. Okay. So, my turn. We still don't have very much crowd favor, we don't have enough for an award yet, but my champion is active. What would I like to do? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move my tactician around to get into it with Molhegen, because he has 3 movement. He can still lend his extra attack here. He also has a 1 hit with no roll. So we're just going to go ahead and hit Molhegen for 1 auto hit. And then we're going to let this Retiarius attack him with 3 dice instead of the normal 2, because he has a tactician next to him, and hope that it works. Yes. Alright, so we have wiped out Molhegen's last life. And because we have defeated him, these guys don't matter. We have won this game. Well, this round of the game. And then we have another round coming up. So what we're going to do is we're going to move our crowd favor up 4. That means that the next round we would get one of these special tactics. And basically would draw up again. He stays with his current health. but we reset up for a totally fresh round with a new boss and new gladiators. And that was one of the 3 solo rounds of a game of Hoplomachus, The Lost Cities.